We have a bunch of game shows to talk about. More games have been validated for the Steam Deck that are coming from Xbox Game Studios, and Xbox has released a sustainability report. Welcome back to another video, guys. If you enjoy daily gaming content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. PlayStation's March State of Play, they went over games that were coming from Japanese publishers. It wasn't, I would say, the good show that everybody was touting it to be, or at least that they thought a show was coming in March that would be the good show, where they would talk about a lot of their first party games, give deeper dives, games potentially like God of War Ragnarok. But there was still a decent amount of games shown off here, and a lot of these games will also be coming to Xbox. So starting off here, we have Exo Primal coming from Capcom, which is kind of like a multiplayer co-op self game where you're fighting dinosaurs and stuff. Looks pretty cool. It's supposed to be coming out in 2023. You can see here the style of gameplay that it is, kind of a third-person mech style with lots of different abilities and just tons of enemies on the screen. Then you had Ghostwire Tokyo, which, I mean, this is a game that is an Xbox Game Studios game, and I think this game looks absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, on Xbox, even though it is a game coming from Xbox Game Studios, you're gonna have to wait at least a year before you get your hands on it, and it's gonna be coming into Game Pass on day one. So that's, I guess, the silver lining with that. But Ghostwire Tokyo looks awesome. Tango is an awesome developer, a great developer that Xbox has within Japan, which helps them create games for that audience that are also great for everyone else to play. Then we have Stranger in Paradise here, which is, I guess, the Final Fantasy take on Souls, coming from Team Ninja, but published by Square Enix. And there's a demo out right now if you want to check it out on all platforms. You can go download it on Xbox and PlayStation, and it officially releases on March 18th. I'm actually pretty excited for this game. I don't know if I will pick it up on day one, but it looks pretty cool. Then Forspoken, we know this got delayed until October. They just showed off some more gameplay for it. Next up, we have Gundam Evolution, which is a multiplayer shooter playing with various different Gundam mechs and different abilities. It looks kind of cool. An arena shooter coming to all consoles, so if this is something you're into, you can look forward to it pretty much no matter where you play. Then we have a big one here that I think is going to sell very well, and this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection. I'm actually very excited for this one. Absolutely love these old TMNT games back in the day. Some of them are really hard, but some of the best beat 'em ups, some great fighters, just awesome older retro style games that haven't gotten the love that some other older games have gotten. And we're getting a big collection of 13 games together, and it's going to have online and local co-op, and it's just very exciting for this to come out. And I mean, it's Konami looking back into their catalog and releasing something, which they don't release too many games these days, but at least they're giving love to TMNT, which a lot of people have wanted to see. And I bet this is going to prompt them to do a lot more stuff like this, because I guarantee you this game is going to sell very well. Up next is Gigabash. Not too much to say about this one, just kind of like a brawler with a bunch of big enemies, kind of like Godzilla style of enemies, and could be cool. Coming to all platforms. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, an anime fighting game based off of the anime, again coming to all consoles. Trek to Yomi, this game looks really cool, has kind of like that Ghost of Tsushima aesthetic. It's a samurai game coming to PS5, coming to PS4, and coming to Xbox as well in spring 2022. They announced a Returnal update. Next up, we have Diofield Chronicle, which is a real-time tactical RPG, I believe, or tactical RPG, whatever you want to call it. And it is coming over to all consoles as well, and just another game within the genre. If you're into those style of games, you may want to check this one out. We know there's Triangle Strategy that is coming out for the Nintendo Switch. I believe it's out right now. It's out this week, so that's a game I'm looking forward to. So this is the one that also has caught my interest. And finally, to end off the show, they showed off a console exclusive for PS4, PS5, but also coming to PC. And this game here, published by Square Enix, and it's Valkyrie Elysium, or Valkyrie Elysium. I guess they made a typo up there for the header title, but yeah, it looks cool. It's another one of those games that Square Enix is making console exclusive on PlayStation, similar to what they're doing with like Final Fantasy 16. So overall, not like an insane show, but I thought it was pretty decent. Like, a lot of these games look fun, look interesting, and the best part about it all is that most of them are coming to Xbox. Most of them are multi-platform. Now, sticking on shows, Xbox actually has their own show coming up next week on March 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it is their ID at Xbox showcase. Now, I actually love these indie games that they show off. They're some of the best games. And you can even see here Trek to Yomi, which was shown off at the PlayStation Showcase, is going to be shown here, meaning that, as we know, it is coming to Xbox. And they're going to be highlighting games like Tunic and Shredder. So very excited about that. Tunic comes out on March 16th, one of my most anticipated games for 2022. Shredders comes out on March 17th, just the day after. Again, a game I'm extremely excited for. So next week is a huge game for these ID at Xbox games, these indie games all coming out onto the Xbox platform, and a game like Shredders is coming out onto Game Pass on day one. I would love to see an announcement for something like Trek to Yomi, which we saw at the PS Showcase, coming to Game Pass, because I think that game looks really good. And then there's another one here, There Is No Light, which I haven't heard of. But yeah, look forward to this one, March 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11, 12, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a great announcement here for Gamescom. Kind of shows that the world is slowly getting back to normal, and it is that the Gamescom Expo, which is generally a really great video game showcase show to go to and just watch online, is going to be back in person this upcoming August. So August 24th to August 28th. The only big difference I would say is they're not going to be selling as many tickets as they did back in 2019, where they had a record setting of 370,000 tickets that were sold. Now, this is going to be great to see what Xbox shows. Really going to look forward to that. And maybe they'll come out with some big announcements leading up to the release of Xbox games coming out in the holiday season. And finally, we have this, which is a rumor coming from Special Nick from Xbox Era, that this year's Xbox events will take place in May and September. So they're going to have two separate events where you'd assume they're going to just give us tons of information on the Xbox Game Studios games. And he says this: the current plan, from what I was told, was a show for May and one for September. Didn't get any more detail than that. Yes, before you ask, I also found it odd that they said May when June is right there as the normal E3 spot. And yeah, that was kind of the first thing I thought about, because June is generally where Xbox goes big with their showcase, if you remember last year. But there are still rumors floating around that E3 maybe will be canceled fully. We know they're not having the in-person thing. People are saying they may cancel the digital event, so maybe they're just preparing in case that gets canceled to have a show in May instead. So there's lots of stuff to look forward to, lots of information to be coming out. So I would say take this one with a grain of salt, because it just doesn't make full sense if they're going to be big at E3 as well, or maybe May is going to be a smaller event. But shows need to be coming now. Xbox needs to do something. They need to announce and show off stuff to get the hype up. You can see it from people in the community. They want to have more information about upcoming Xbox Game Studios games, because there are a lot of upcoming games, and we want to see the gameplay. We want to see gameplay of Redfall. We want to see gameplay of Starfield. I say those two specifically that are supposed to be releasing in 2022. So the Steam Deck is out, and Xbox Game Studios and Xbox have a great relationship with Steam, putting all of their first-party games right into Steam. People can pay full price for them. And with the Steam Deck, they have to verify games to actually work on the device. There's actually three categories. There's verified, playable, and then I guess unverified or unplayable. I believe it's unsupported. There you go. And we have the list here of the Xbox Game Studios games that will be able to be played on the Steam Deck. So you have Deathloop, Psychonauts 2, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, The Evil Within, Fallout Shelter, Prey, Battletoads, Max, The Curse of Brotherhood. Now those games there are all verified games, so they're guaranteed to work. You won't have to worry about anything when you have your Steam Deck. And then in terms of games that are playable, which should work, maybe there's some hiccups here and there. There's Sea of Thieves, Fallout 4, Forza Horizon 5, Forza Horizon 4, Quantum Break, and State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition. And then the games that are unsupported due to anti-cheat, which some of these games here, such as Gears 5, Halo Master Chief Collection, and Halo Infinite, very disappointed that those are unsupported. And then you also have Microsoft Flight Simulator X. So that's the list. It's most likely going to continue to get updated. The Steam Deck is brand new. They're going to continue to get more games verified to work on it. But I would say the saving grace with all this, if you are getting a Steam Deck such as myself, is that at some point you're going to be able to just install Windows on that thing once all the drivers get worked out, and you're literally just going to be able to play all these games from Xbox Game Pass. and play them natively, just download them right onto the device. That's my plan with the Steam Deck once that feature is available. But besides that, I believe you're also even able to access the xCloud through Steam Deck's OS, through the Steam OS. Like, you're still going to be able to do that. So there is that option available. But with such a high powered handheld device, you're most likely going to want to play most of these games natively downloaded. So Xbox has shared a sustainability report which talks about saving energy in the environment, all that type of stuff. But there's also some features here that you may want to know about. So firstly, new Xbox consoles will be set to energy saving mode by default. You know, there's two modes. There's like the power on mode, then the energy saving mode. I believe the power on mode just kind of starts up faster and it just jumps right into the dashboard and it's just easier to get going. Whereas the energy saving mode takes longer to start up. So if you are new to Xbox, like you got a new Xbox, just you may have to go in and change that setting if you don't want it on energy saving mode. And Microsoft will also allow Xbox consoles to continue to download updates even during energy saving mode, which reduces power consumption by up to 20 times overall. And that's a great feature because one of the main reasons why a lot of people probably don't use that mode is so that they don't have to sit through downloading updates when they turn on their consoles. Now they'll be available and ready to go even in the energy saving mode. Now there's a bunch of other stuff here that's kind of interesting here. Like at minimum, they are going to be using 28% recycled plastic resins with the Xbox Series S, or that's actually what they're doing right now. And by 2025, Microsoft aims to have shifted to the entire Azure architecture to 100% renewable energy. And other things they talk about here is just like the materials used within the controllers, the percentage of it that is recyclable, as well as the percentage of recyclable materials that are used within the Xbox Series X and S. So this report is available if you do want to go check it out. But a couple of features that they did announce here that you should probably be aware of. That's it for me, guys. What are your thoughts on all of these shows upcoming and the PlayStation Showcase? What are your thoughts on the verified games from Xbox Game Studios on Steam Deck and those features from the sustainability report? Are you happy that they are now available on Xbox? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you enjoyed what you saw, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.